Hi, today I want to talk to you about something. Even if you think you're prepared and prepped, are you? In an emergency situation or a bad situation, your own worst enemy is you. And you're going, what are you talking about? Okay, we're going to talk a little bit of logic here. I know a lot of people, especially young people nowadays, have absolutely none of that, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Take your average day. Now, what happens? A lot of people go to work all day, so they're busy. What happens when they go home or on their days off? If you get bored, a lot of people tend to eat. Right there is your worst enemy, you, because you didn't prepare for a power outage or an extended power outage or if things get really bad. Excuse me. And you're going, what are you talking about? I have food. I have water. Well, if you're lucky enough to have food and water put back, that's great. Now, my videos are made for the average person. A lot of them live paycheck to paycheck. So putting back bunches of food and a great deal of water is next to impossible for them. Now, let's say you have actually got, somehow, you have put back a week's worth of food. Now, that's rice, beans, canned goods, and then you throw a bunch of junk in there on top of it. Chips, stuff in the can that you can open just to eat right out of the can or just heat up. Things like that. A lot of people's mistake is not figuring, I may have all this. I may have the water I need. They're telling me I need so much water per day per person. But their mistake is, as soon as something hits, they go straight into their backup or emergency kit and start eating canned goods. They don't cook this stuff out of their fridge. Now, they didn't prepare extra water for that cooking that stuff in the fridge. They go, okay, I just need a gallon a day. Do you? If you have so many people, even if it's just you, one person, let's say you eat all the junk out of your fridge first. Say you don't have much. Hopefully you have more than nothing, but some people have pretty much nothing. So you eat that for your first meal and second meal. What's in your fridge and freezer. Now, if your power is just going to go out for a couple hours, you don't do this. But let's say it's out for a day, 2, 3, 4 days. Your milk in your fridge is going to go bad. Your butter's going to melt if you have butter. Any type of meat is going to go bad. But this isn't about that. This is about your worst enemy. Your worst enemy is going to be yourself. And you're going, how can you say that? It's very simple. It's very logical. If the power's out for an extended amount of time, and even if you have a backup generator or some type of generator or even solar to keep your food good in your fridge and in chest freezer if you have a chest freezer, the one thing you're not looking at is what happens, especially in America, when people get bored. Boredom is going to be a huge issue for you. Even if you have candles, a hurricane lamp, solar lights, even if you have all this stuff, boredom is going to affect you. And you're going, well, how? Why? Very simple. A lot of people, when they get bored, they eat. And most people don't take that into account when they're prepping. So if you're bored or your kids are bored, they're going to want to eat. They're going to go, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Or you're just going to eat because a lot of people in America, especially America, have gotten in a routine where even if they're watching something on the TV, they have a handful of chips. So, that routine you've gotten into is going to affect you in a grid down scenario or an emergency. Now, let's say you are lucky enough to have a week's worth of food put back. When you start getting bored, you're going to start getting into that more and more and more. That's going to affect your food storage. That's going to make your food go down quicker. Now, if you have children, I've recommended coloring books from a dollar store. Don't buy the cheap crayons, though, from the dollar store. Buy the good stuff that's non-toxic. But I've recommended coloring books, games, even there if it's small little table games, cheap handheld games, electric handheld games, battery operated. Now, once the batteries go down on them or dead, there's nothing you can do about that. But keeping those little hands busy is going to help a lot. You yourself have to think about this. What happens if I get really, really bored? I mean, if I'm just sitting in a chair with a candle sitting next to me all day long, what's going to happen? Most likely, you're going to eat. That's a situation most people don't think about. Now, I have talked about numerous things, everything from the hand crank flashlight radios that I'm not telling you to buy. What I'm telling you is you need to think about your situation. Now, I'm not telling you to buy anything. Me personally, we have laptops, but I have a way to charge those laptops. And if you watched my video on the solar cube, I believe it would produce enough power to charge one of my laptops. Mine or my girlfriend's, it doesn't matter. We would have something to do. Now, here's the thing. Even if it doesn't, I know it would produce enough power running off of the light bulbs in the solar cube to charge this phone right here. And we could always put something on this phone to watch or music to listen to off the phone, and then we could recharge the phone off the solar cube prototype that I made. But I'm pretty sure, I believe it would produce enough power running itself to charge my laptop so we could use it. But even if it didn't, I could charge my MP3 player. I could charge our battery packs and run my speakers off the battery packs, and we'd have music. We'd have something to do. Having something to do to keep your hands busy and keep you busy, even if it's not like working out or anything like that, just something to keep you from getting really bored to where you get into your supplies is an absolute must. And if you have children, that's really a must. They have to have something to do to keep their hands busy. And if you got hit with a really bad storm, hurricane, a fire, something like that, you don't want them outside unless they have to be outside. You want them safe where you can keep an eye on them. You don't want them out in the weather or anything like that. So, them having something to do is a must. You, yourself, I don't care if you're one person. I don't care if you have a week's worth of food put back. You yourself have got to have something to do to keep yourself busy. Because your worst enemy in a situation like that is you. If you get so bored that you start to eat, your emergency supplies are going down quicker. Now, it's me and my girlfriend. And like I said, I have shown the little hand crank solar charged flashlight radios. Now those radios on those only last at best 20 minutes before the battery's dead. Do we have other stuff to do besides listen to that? Yes, we do. Now, even if my solar is not working, and let's say I could not charge our laptop for whatever reason, we have other stuff to do. The key is making sure you don't get bored. And a lot of people are going to argue with me on this. But in America, people eat for all kinds of reasons. Boredom is one of them. And you have to understand, when I make my videos for your average person. I don't make my videos for people that have $5,000 to make a backup supply to where they have 3 months of food, 6 months of food. My videos are for the average person. I don't care if you have to go to a garage sale and pick up a Monopoly game for $2. I don't care what you have to do, but understand something. In a serious grid down or power outage, it doesn't have to be grid down, seriously, just a power outage that lasts a week. Think about how fast you would go through your supplies. Now, I'm not telling you to buy anything. It's not my place. I'm telling you what could happen in a situation to where you can't get food, or the food you have is all you have. If you see human nature, especially here in America, people that get bored eat. We see it all the time. Now, if your power's out, your internet's not going to work. Most likely, your smartphone's not going to work, at least not for very long. Your computer's not going to work. Your TV's not going to work. So, what do? You either have a way to charge those things to where they will work, or you have something else you can do. Don't rely on technology here as far as keeping you from getting bored. Now, I have various ways to charge different things from a generator. Now, let's say the Democrats screw up the country even more than they have now, and gas becomes unavailable. A generator that runs off gas is not going to work with no gas, with no oil. So, there goes your generator. Solar panels. Depends on how many you have and what time of year and your location and what time of the day or night are not going to work. So, have other things for you to do. I don't care if you have to go to a dollar store. And now, since all the dollar stores are going up in price, everything's going up in price because, well, the Democrats are screwing up this country. But go get a deck of cards, 1 or 2 decks of cards from a dollar store before the prices go up. Get you something else to do. Because your worst enemy in a situation is you. If you get bored, what emergency supplies you have may go a lot quicker than you think they should. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you logic. We know when people get bored, they tend to go to eating. So, let's say you have nothing but beans and rice in your backup kit. Hey, it's something. So if you're having to make beans and rice every day, think about the amount of water you're going to have to use for those beans and rice. Especially if you have dry beans. And what happens if you get bored and eat more and more and more? You're going to have to cook more and more and more. So not only are you going to go through your emergency food quicker, you're going to go through your emergency water quicker. Like I said, your worst enemy in a grid down, power outage scenario, or if something really bad happens, your worst enemy is you. If you have children, they're going to be screaming they're hungry because they're bored. And you're not going to want to hear them screaming all the time that they're hungry, so you're going to make something. Have them something to do. Have yourself something to do. Unless you have a way to charge your phone, your laptops, you're going to get bored really quickly just sitting in your house in the dark. Now, let's say, like I said, even if you have candles or a hurricane lamp or some solar lights only last a certain number of hours before they have to be charged. Candles only last so long before they burn out. Hurricane lamps, you need the oil for the hurricane lamps, the lamp oil. Alright, let's say you have access to light. During the day you can open your windows to get air and light, but after dark, you need to think about that. Now, you can spend hundreds of dollars on AA and AAA and C and D size batteries for things. That doesn't mean those batteries are going to stay good. That doesn't mean you're not going to, if you're constantly using them, have to replace them every single day. Especially if you have a light going 24 hours a day, you know, so you can see to get to a bathroom or whatever. You're going to leave that light on. Anyway, this is going to be a two-part video. I did order something that I thought about my girlfriend for this. And once again, you don't have to have what we have. And before you ask, yes, my girlfriend did get her paycheck. But, you know, you don't have to have what we have. Think for yourself. Think, where do I live? What do I need? Do I have kids? If I don't have kids, how am I going to keep my own mind preoccupied and keep my hands busy doing something or, you know, whatever, so I don't constantly want to eat? And a lot of people are probably going, well, I'll just drink. You know, I have liquor. That's also a bad idea. In an emergency situation, you need a clear, level head. Most drunks don't have that. If you're plastered or you're high, you don't have a clear, level head. And one bad decision could cost you your life. And you're going, I'm making stuff up. It can't happen. Alright, scenario. You didn't prepare. You have a couple candles in the drawer. Okay. You light one, you're sitting there drinking, getting nice and screwed up. Or you're high, getting high. You gotta go in the other room. You take the candle with you, set it down. Get whatever you need to get, and you walk out of that room, and you leave that candle sitting there. There's a piece of paper hung up on the wall, calendar, or, you something your kid made at preschool, whatever, or There's some clothes hanging close to it, and it catches on fire. All because you were drunk or you were high, and you had nothing up here. And if you have kids, you have to keep a clear mind. No matter how bad the situation is, no matter how bad you think that it's going to be, you sit down, you take a few minutes to yourself, you clear your head, you clear your mind, and you go, okay, here's what I need to do, here's what I need to provide. Do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? And if not, can I substitute this for this? But remember, in a situation, your worst enemy is you. It's not boredom, because if you knew that a situation may happen and you didn't prepare for that situation, that's on you. Alright, I know this is almost 22 minutes long, and this is a one part of a two-part video. I will make the other video when whatever I order from my girlfriend comes in. And everything I order, I think about her. Will this make her life easier? Will this make it to where she's not bored in a grid down scenario? Or if the power's out or nothing's working right? Everything I buy, as far as preparing, I think about her. Will this help her get through a situation? You know, if it's just you, you can think about yourself. But remember, if you're bored because you didn't prepare something to keep your hands busy and your mind busy, you may eat more. And if you do, you'll be going through your food quicker and your water quicker. Don't do that. Anyway, like I said, this will be a two-part video. I will talk about what I order for her when it comes in. That will be my next video. But your worst enemy is you. You can take it to heart or don't. If you have a week worth of food and your lights are out for a week, what happens if you start getting bored and you just start eating because you're bored? Think about it. What happens if you have children and they start getting bored? What happens? They're going to eat. They're going to want to eat. They're going to constantly say they're hungry. You're going to go through your food quicker. Alright, I'm fixing to go. Like I said, this is one part to a two-part video. When the item comes in that I order from my girlfriend, I will show it. And use your best judgment. But make sure you don't become your worst enemy, your own worst enemy. It's not going to be the neighbor down the road, because here's the thing. If they don't know you have backup food, they're not going to be coming and begging. Your worst enemy is you. Keep a clear head, clear mind. Make sure you have something to do, so you just don't get into your food because you're bored. Alright, I'm fixing to go. Thanks for watching. And remember, check out the next video when it comes out. And hopefully this helps somebody out. And everyone have a good day. Bye.